Lisa Wallen with Directional Learning, and I welcome you teachers and parents to the Teacher Parent Edition. Today we're going to be talking about vowel teams. We have 8 vowel teams here, and they're all going to make only one sound, one long sound, except for UE. They're going to learn UE can make actually 2 long sounds. It can say U or oo. Today we'll be teaching the oo sound because you already taught your student the U sound. So all you need is a whiteboard, and you can get some markers if you like your student to draw out the shapes as they decode. If not, you can always go to directionallearning.com and you can download our clip art for them to decode. So let's go teach the student what happens when we have 2 red letters next to each other. Notice it's different than a CVC word. There's no blue fly next door, and there's 2 red letters right by each other. So let's go teach the student what to do when they have vowel teams in a word. So I would start off with an easy word like this, and we're going to start off with the vowel teams AI. You can see I have a list of words here, and for the first word, I wouldn't put blends in there or digraphs in there quite yet. Now, you can tell my word list has some blends in there, so if they know they're blends, you can add words like that. If they don't, then you want to just keep simple words. Same thing with digraphs. You can add words that have digraphs with AI or with some of the other vowel teams that we're going to work with, and you'll see a list of words that you can practice with the student. So the first thing I would do is, well, first let me tell you, we've taught them how to decode short sounds. So you find the red letter, look next door is a blue fly, so it's going to make a short sound. And same thing, we did long sounds, find the red letter, there's nobody next door, so it'll make its long sound. So now we're going to be moving to vowel teams, which are together, and they're only going to make one sound here. So that's what we're going to do with those vowel teams. So I'm going to show you how to teach your student how to decode. I'm going to move these words here because we don't need them. So we're just going to use the shapes here to do that. And we'll do our sound sticks too. So I'm going to put all the sound sticks together. I'm going to organize my board. That's what I do with the student. So first thing I do is I'll have them find the red letters. I'll say, let's decode this word, find the red letter. And they might say, oh, there's a second letter, and there is. So encourage them to put the triangle underneath it because it's a vowel. Remember, these are vowels. And then you're going to say, we're going to do something different when we have 2 vowels together. Notice that they're together. This is the first vowel, and this is the second vowel. Well, the second vowel, this is the second vowel, we're going to quiet him down by putting a triangle over it, and it cannot speak. It is silent. So that's what you did. You silenced him. So you put a red triangle over it. You can say the house over him, and now he's quiet. He can't say anything. But the first one can scream its letter name. So you're going to get the long stick, the sound stick, and you're going to put the long sound there. And then all they have to do is touch it and say the sounds as they see it. Ra-a-n. The word is rain. Okay. Notice that this one is silent. So you went ra-a-n, then blend it, rain. So now you're going to number it, park it. So there's 3 parking spaces and there's 4 letters. So 2 are going to live together. Well, the vowel teams are going to live together. So this is the beginning sound. This is the middle sound, AI, and this is the ending sound here. And you can see that AI is going to live in the middle. So that's where AI lives. It lives in the middle. Now you have 2 red letters, but how many red letters do you hear? Let's check. Ra-a-n. You only hear from 1 because this one's silent. So if you have 2 red letters and you only hear from 1, it's going to be a 1-syllable word. And that's how I would teach it to the student. That's how I would teach these vowel teams that we're going to be working on. Just like that. You decode it, show them how to decode it. You show them how to park the letters, and you show them that it's going to be a 1-syllable word, these vowel teams. And AI lives in the middle. So you can practice these words with them. And remember, if you can bring in blends, because I have some blends here. If they know how to do it, you can even bring in digraphs if they know the sounds. If they don't, we have videos on how to teach blends and digraphs. All right, let's move on to the next word. Decode a word with AY in it. Now, AY is going to live at the end, and you'll prove it to them once they number the word. So you're going to ask them, you're going to say, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 letters here, 3 parking spots. Remember, ST was a blend, so they're going to live together. Now, they may do something like this, but you can tell them that these two here, they're actually red letters, so they're going to live together. So there's no middle sound. And you're going to have them find the red letter, so there's a red letter there, and you're going to remind them that Y at the end of a word, whenever you have Y at the end of a word or end of a syllable, at the end, see the number 3, then guess what? It's going to become a red letter. Because remember, when we first did the handwriting, we said Y can be a blue letter and it can be a red letter. Well, when Y is at the end of a word, it's going to be a red letter. So whenever you see it at the end, it's a red letter. So if we have 2 red letters together, what do? You quiet up the second one, and the first one gets to scream its name. So then you touch each sound. This is st, st. So that's a blend, remember? St, a. The word is stay. Now notice AY is at the end. Well, that's where you're going to find AY, at the end of a word. And that's going to be helpful for spelling for the student. And, we just kind of introduce them to where they live. They're not going to remember them right away, and they'll have plenty of time to practice. Okay, and then you'll ask them, how many red letters in this word? 1, 2. But how many red letters do we hear from? We only hear from 1, so we built a 1-syllable word. Pretty easy. So you've taught them AI lives in the middle and AY lives at the end. So you can practice words with them. And you can keep asking them, where's AI live? Where's AY live? Pretty easy. Okay, let's try a new sound here, and I have EA, and know that EA can live in the beginning, so that's what we're going to work on this word. So I would have them decode it. It's the easiest thing because it kind of shows them, makes a visual picture for them. It's 2 red letters, and 2 red letters are together. Second one's going to be quiet, and the first one gets to scream its name because you already showed them that. So then they can touch it and say the sounds eat. The word is eat. And then they can number it, and you can tell them EA lives in the beginning, and that will live in the end. Okay, so EA can live in the beginning, and you can see I have words here. See EA living in the beginning in these words. It can live in the middle, and it can live at the end. So EA is a little different because it can live pretty much in each parking spot. Okay? And after they've numbered it, you can ask them how many red letters in this word. 2. How many are you actually hearing from? 1. So you built a 1-syllable word. Let's do our next vowel team, and we have EA, same thing, but notice it's going to live at the end. And your student's been decoding for a while, so now you can give your student a pen and they can start making these shapes. You can get them a red pen, a blue pen, and maybe a black pen. Expo markers work great if you're doing it on a whiteboard, so they'll go ahead and make the triangles. It makes it more multi-sensory for them too, and they'll cover this one up, and this one gets to scream its name. You can even have them number it. Here's the first sound, here's the ending sound, and I have 1 red letter. I'm only going to hear from 1 red letter, so I built a 1-syllable word, and then they can touch it. E, the word is T. So now you can start to have them take a marker and they can start decoding with a pen. Our next word, and notice EA is going to be in the middle here for them. So remember, you can have them either use the shapes or they can use their pen to make the triangles and the numbers and the sound stick. I'm going to go ahead and use the shapes because I can just drag them really quick. So I would have them look for the red letters, just like we've been doing. And notice that these 2 red letters are together. So when they're together, we do something different. Now notice that too, that we do something different. We don't have to look for the blue fly when these red letters are together. Okay, so we already know when there's 2 red letters, the second one's going to be quiet, so you quiet them up, and the first one gets to scream its name, right? And then they can touch the sounds, eat, beat. They can even number it. This is the beginning sound. EA is a vowel. They're going to be together, right? They're vowels, and then this is the ending sound. and I only hear from one red letter, so it's a one-syllable word, and the word is beat. Now, you might want to talk about the definition on this because there's two different ways we can spell beat, right? So this type of beat is if you had a drum set and you had a drumstick, you would hit the drum, so you would beat on it, or you would hear the beat of the drum. So that's the definition of this. Okay, so you had drums, and then you had a drumstick. You hit the, and you would beat the drum. Okay, so that's the type of beat this means. Now our next vowel team is EE. Do you see that? So I would just have them decode it, just like we've been doing. Two red letters together. This is different because notice how they're twins, but they're still red letters. So if they're red letters, the second one gets silenced, right? And the first one gets to scream its name. So if we touch each sound, we'll get a word out of it. Eat, beat. The word is beat. Now, do you remember the last word we did? It was beat too, but that was a type that you beat on something, like a beat on a drum, your drums. This type of beet is a beet, like a vegetable that you would find growing in your garden. Okay, so that's this type of beet here. Now, notice that the other beet was spelt with an EA. This one's spelt with an EE. Well, the reason why we have different spellings is so that we know what the word means. Like this type of beet with two E's means the vegetable. Now, if I change it to EA, then that means to beat on something, like to beat on a drum. Okay, so it changes the meaning, but we say it the same way. But that's why we have different letters, so we know what it means. And EE can live in the middle, and it's going to live at the end too. Okay, so you want to do some words where it's at the end. Like we could take away that right there, and then this becomes the ending, and EE lives at the end. EE won't live in the beginning, but it'll live in the middle and it'll live in the end, so you can practice words with them now that they know how to decode these type of words. Okay, we'll move on to our next vowel team. Okay, the next sound we're going to do is OA, and you can see I'm going to speed this up for you. OA can live in the beginning and the middle of a one-syllable word. So you'll hardly ever find it in words that are more than one syllable. Okay, so we can try to do a word like this first. Let's change that number to the ending, right? So see how it's in the beginning, and they can decode this, so they'll be able to find the first, see that there's two red letters. This one's quiet, this one gets to scream its name, and you can tell I'm skipping steps. And then they'll be able to say the sound, oat, oat, okay? And then you can change it on them. So see all these words they're able to decode really quickly because they know that the pattern to decode it. Say we do a word like this. Let's find this. Now it's in the middle, notice that? So here's the beginning, here's the middle, and here's the ending. And there's two red letters, so they'll be able to decode it really simple, okay? So that's what you want to do. You can do words with them, OA in the beginning and OA in the middle, okay? And we'll move on to our next set of vowel team. Our next sound is OE, and you can tell OE is going to live at the end. So let's do this word here. If we were to do that word there, you can kind of see two red letters. The first one's going to scream its name, so it's going to say toe. So you can practice with them. I have some words here for them to practice. So just remember it's going to live at the end, and there's only going to be a few one-syllable words for this, and I wrote down a few for you. Okay, so you can practice that, but it's the same concept. Two red letters, and the second one's going to be quiet, and then of course this first one gets to scream its name, so pretty easy. Let's move on to the next set. Okay, so here's our next set of vowels right here. So same thing, they're going to find the red letter, find out that there's two of them. This one's going to be quiet, and of course this one's going to be able to scream its name. So the word is a little I, lie, and you're going to find IE at the end. And you're going to find it in like 4 words. They're one syllable words, of course. So you're only going to find it 4 times here. You can see the words. So you can practice these 4 words with them for that. So that's super simple. Just remind them IE is at the end. It's going to be a 1 syllable word because there's 1 red letter and there's only 4 words to practice with them. Okay, so I do UE with them too because they are 2 red letters. And there's a red letter there. Same concept. Second one is quiet and the first one gets to scream its name. And we've taught them that the long sound for this is U. And this works for this word, K, U, Q. The word is Q. You can give them a definition if they don't know what it means, and you can give them a sentence. So we can have them park our letters in the parking spaces. This would be the beginning sound, and remember UE belong together, so they live at the end. So this has a beginning and an ending. You have 2 red letters, but you only hear from one of them, so it's going to be a 1 syllable word. So we taught them how to decode a word with a long sound U. Well, you want to tell them that U actually has 2 long sounds. We taught them the U sound, the letter name, and now we're going to teach them the second sound, which is U. In order to teach UE to the student, we have to teach the long sound of U when it's by itself. They've already learned when U is all by itself, there's no blue fly next door, there's no consonant, then it gets to scream its letter name. It says U. So they learn that first sound. Now we're going to teach them the second sound, which is oo. And how I teach it is, see this pair of glasses here? I make a pair of glasses just like I have here. You can draw it too. So see the glasses? And I tell them, imagine you saw a beautiful rainbow up in the air. Do you see this rainbow up in the air? Well, you'd want to look at the rainbow. So you put your glasses on. Can you make 2 circles with each finger and look through it and say, what would you say if you saw a beautiful rainbow in the air? You would say, ooh, ooh. And that's the sound, the second long sound for U. U is very special. It has 2 long sounds. It has the sound U, its letter name, and oo. And all you have to do is make 2 circles with your fingers. Look through the glasses. Look at the rainbow. What would you say? Ooh, ooh. So that's how I teach that to them. So now we can teach UE to the student. So I would first have them find the red letters. And they know that there's 2 of them. So the second one's going to be quiet. You'll silence it. And the first one gets to scream. Then I'll say, remember, U is special. It can make 2 sounds, long sounds. So let's try the first sound. D-U. D-U. Does that make a word? It doesn't. It's even hard to blend. Okay, so the second sound, maybe I'll make glasses for them. Or they can, if they remember, they can make the second sound, which is the glasses. Or you can use the clip art. And I'll say, remember, you see a pretty rainbow in the air. What would you say? You'd want to look at it. So put your glasses on, make 2 circles with your fingers, look through it, and you would say if you saw the rainbow, ooh, ooh. And that helps them remember the sound. You'll be surprised once they make the glasses and with their fingers, that will remind them of the sound. So then they can try it. D-ooh, do, and you can give them a sentence if they don't understand the word. Your book report is due tomorrow. Then they'll understand what the word means. And you can still have them number it. That's the first sound. And UE is going to live together. That's the ending sound. UE lives at the end. And you hear from only 1 red letter, so you built a 1 syllable word. That's how you teach the long sounds of U and oo. First you can try U. That doesn't make a word, then try oo. Just remember, UE lives at the end of the word, and we'll tell them more about UE, how UE, U can't live by itself in American words. So we add the E. We'll cover that in another session for our spelling. Okay, next I would practice all 8 sounds here. And there's 8 sounds here. You can break it up if you want to. You don't have to teach it all in one lesson. Sometimes I can with the older students, and depending on where they're at too. But it's an easy concept. It's just a pattern for them because they find the red letter, right? 2 red letters together, then they know, oh, I do something different. I cover this one up, and then the first one gets to scream its letter name. So it makes it pretty easy for them. And that's why I teach these all together. Okay, so the sounds A, you can ask them where you might find it in the word. Oh, they might say in the middle, so you can use the numbers there, and you'll just teach it like that to them. You'll put up these 2 letters and then they'll decode it. Say it says E. Where would you find it in a word or syllable? In the beginning, middle, and end. Okay, and you can help them if they don't remember the numbers. Not a big deal. We'll have plenty of time to practice. So that's what you want to do with them. Practice all these sounds. At the very end, I would practice nonsense words with them. You can use all these sounds in here to practice with them. You can say, oh, okay, let's practice that. You can practice, I would practice like where you would find the word too. Remember, AI you would find in the middle, so they could practice like this, 2 red letters. And this is how you figure out if they really do understand the decoding. And they can say it's ba-a-d, bade. The word is bade. You can ask them, is it a real word? It's not. Okay, so it's a nonsense word. This right here is a rule breaker. You can show them this. This breaks the rule. It's in the beginning of the word, but we still decode it the same way. Aid, aid, because remember, AI is usually in the middle of the word, but here it's in the beginning. So you can show them that because it is a real word, even though we're working on nonsense words. Okay, and then, you can practice all these different combinations down here, here. So maybe make a nonsense word like this, and if you're going to use AY, use it in the appropriate location. AY you would find at the end of the word. So you want to make it real for the student when they decode these nonsense words. So you're just going to make up a bunch of nonsense words and have them decode it, and that's your test to them that they understand the decoding. Well, we thank you for watching Directional Learning, and we can't wait to teach you more because we have a lot more to teach you. So make sure you subscribe to Directional Learning.